Hey everyone, I'm NornQueenAlexis and welcome back to the channel. Today, we are taking a look at Psychic Awakening, the Greater Good. So this book is broken up into 3 factions, like pretty much all of the books at this point. So today we're going to start with the Tao. So don't read about the Tao online. Literally, you'll be barraged by the same 3 memes calling them weebs and calling them communists. They're not. Can we please stop that and not get those comments today? That'd be terrific. But we're going to take a look at the Greater Good. We're going to go over some of the new stuff that the Tao have. And I'm actually really curious about this one because I personally love the Tao. I think that they are a fantastic race and fit perfectly into the 40k aesthetic. They're not as hopeful as they once were in earlier lore. They're now a bit more brutal, which I kind of really like. So let's dive into this book. Hey everyone, I'm NornQueenAlexis and welcome back to the channel and welcome to this book-ish review. I say ish because I'm still not sure if I'm a proper reviewer or not, but I'm reviewing this, so I guess I am. Also, just so you guys know, I do have a copy of Wrath of the Everchosen, which is sealed, which will be given away on my Patreon very soon. So if you want to have a chance of winning this, join my Patreon. There's also brand new rewards coming. So if you get a chance, check the links in the description down below. There you can follow me on Patreon. Come check it out. Now let's dive into this. Also the brand new art of Shadow Sun looks incredible. It's weird in the artwork. She doesn't have a nose, but the actual model of her has a nose. Yeah. Don't know how I feel about that. So let's get right into this and take a look. We get this classic artwork, which actually comes from the Imperial Guard book, which I think is really cool, showing the Vestorians. I think that's the Vestorians fighting the Tau. This is the White Tau, which I cannot remember the name of, so my apologies. But getting right in there, the Greater Good. They're the greatest of the goodest. They're actually not. Current lore right now has them killing off their human auxiliaries because they accidentally corrupted the Greater Good by creating a demon/chaos god of the Greater Good, which is essentially Shiva, the Indian Hindu god of the 1,000 hands and whatever. I'm not sure about that mythos, but it does come from a more recent lore, and in one of the most recent short stories that they released, they had the Tau actually murdering their human auxiliaries, and it was really brutal, and I really enjoyed it. So if you get a chance, check it out. So this is very awkward for me to do because my camera is actually like right in the way. So I'm going to try to position myself where I can actually work around my camera without casting too much of shadow. More lore about the 5th Sphere expansion and how it sort of failed, but not really. It talks about the Death Guard and how they beat them. Boop! Talks about their little place. Look at it, it's so cute, and it's right there. Boop! It's tiny, and I absolutely adore the Tau. They try their best. Okay, Orbital City. Yo, that would be a really cool Dark Heresy session. Yo, or maybe Rogue Trader. Ooh, might need to do a couple of games about that. So you guys don't care about the lore. I know you don't care about the lore. I will do a lore series on this. That guy looks like he ate too much sour candy and looks very upset by that. So let's try to get right into this. Blah, blah, blah lore, blah, blah, blah lore, blah, blah, blah more lore. The missions that come from this book are pretty interesting. There's actually no new models in this picture itself, aside from Shadow Sun and her 2 drones, which I was a little bit disappointed with it, although I am curious about this piece right here. It looks like a tiny void shield generator, and I absolutely love it. So first thing we have is the Echoes of War, which is a 18-inch by 12-inch deployment, which that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Defenders and attackers. Okay. The army is the attacking commanding force of Tau Empire led by Commander Shadowsun. If a player's army are Battleforged, they will be able to use the appropriate stratagems included with this mission. Oh, that's interesting. You can only use these stratagems if you have a Battleforged army that is Tau. Okay, cool, cool. Huh. No. If a player's army is Battleforged, yeah, you can just use these regardless. So long as your army's Battleforged. The battlefield, yada yada yada, deployment. After terrain has been set up, the attacker sets up their units wholly within their deployment zone. The defender then sets up, so it's not back and forth. It's literally I deploy my whole force, you deploy your whole force. Looks like attackers goes, oh wait, what is this? The combined power rating of each unit set up in reserves cannot exceed half that army's power level. Okay, so just the typical thing. The defender then places 2 secret passage markers anywhere on the deployment zone, anywhere on the battlefield outside the attacker's deployment zone. Ooh, interesting. The attacker's first turn. I assume siege initiative is in this. If not, I'm going to be very sad because that's going to be tough. You know what? I'm going to get better lighting in here. Okay, so I do apologize, but the only way to get more light is to have a glare. So, sorry about that. So, let's see. Secret passage. Units in the defending army that arrive from reserve may be set up wholly within the secret passage markers and not within 1 inch of an enemy unit. Ooh, that's actually really cool because that's a very Genestealer cultist. Like, I really like that. They just pop up. We actually had a narrative mission where we did something similar to this. So if you're looking for fun narrative things, there you go. So, when taking a morale test from the defender's army, subtract 2 from the result. Oh, that actually might make morale not even important at all. It might. Victory condition. At the end of the battle, whichever player controls the objective markers wins a major victory. Major victory. Not a minor victory, a major one. So, alright, that's pretty cool. Just try to readjust my footing real quick. So then we go right into the Tau Empire. And unfortunately, crude ox are not in it. Crude dinosaurs are not in this. So that makes me a little bit upset. That actually makes me very upset, I'm not going to lie. I was really hoping for Narlox to come back with this book, but unfortunately that is not the case. Which, it's a shame. It's a shame. Okay. So we got our Tau names, our Tau seps, and our Tau ranking. So Fire Warrior is La, Veteran is Ul, Hero is Ver, Noble is Il, and Commander is O. So for me, I would be Shaso-Lexis, but let's see. See if they actually included Lexis. Boop-a-da-boop-a-da-boop-a-da-boop-a-da-boo. No, they did not. It's a shame. All right. So, let's see. Did anything else change in here? Sometimes prototype weapon systems, Tau engineers are constructing, adapting, and implement, blah, 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 blah. Presents rules for equipping a unit with your army with unique prototype weapons. Stratagem, the Eight. The Eight are a renowned group of warriors who have fought alongside Commander Farsight for years. Page 46 through 49 presents rules for using these mighty warriors in battle. That's interesting. I like that. Okay, because I don't think the 8 were actually in this edition. You could take them. You can give them the war gear and everything, but they weren't the 8. Farsight Enclaves, page 50 to 53, presents rules enabling you to field your force with the breakaway Farsight Enclave faction, including abilities, stratagems, relics, warlord traits, and tactical objectives. That is actually really cool. I really like that. I really, really, really like that. All right, so let's get right into it. Commander Shadowsun. I don't like this art of her because she kind of looks really derpy. Like again, it's the same, it feels like it's the same artist that did that did the Space Marines, that did the Sisters of Battle. They just don't know how to draw faces. So Commander Shadowsun, movement 8 inches, weapon skill 3+. Wow, she can actually fight. Ballistic skill 2+, strength and toughness 4, wounds 5. I was hoping for 6, but 5 is good. 4 attacks. She can really fight in close combat. Like, that's actually kind of scary. Like, if she gets locked, she still has 4 strikes. Leadership 9, save 3+. I was hoping for a 2+, but okay. Okay, let's see what else we get with this. We got the Advanced Guardian Drone and the the Command Linked Drone. Whew, that's a mouthful. They're just drones. In the profile, that is. Strictly the profile, that's what I mean. Commander Shadowsun is a single model equipped with the Flechette Launchers, 2 high-energy fusion blasters, light missile pods, pulse pistol. Oh, she has a pistol. This model is accompanied by blah, 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 blah. You can only take one of this in your army. So, the fusion blasters. Ooh, it has 2 different profiles. That's interesting. I don't know why they're not together. Huh. That's weird that the Flechette Launcher is in the middle of them. Pistol 5. Holy crap. If she gets into close combat, she has 2 pistols to use. She has 6 shots at strength, 1 at strength 3, 1 at strength 5, plus her 4 attacks. She might not just be completely bodied if somehow she gets locked in combat, like a fiend or contorted epitome locks her. She might be able to get away. Just saying. So, Dispersed Fusion Blaster. Strength 7, AP -4, D3. 2 shots. Salt. When resolving an attack made with this weapon against a unit within half range, reroll 1 additional D3 when inflicting damage and discard 1 of the dice. Ooh, so you can either elect to keep it alive or kill it, which is really good. Also, I have paint and glue all over my hands and a band-aid. I broke my finger. I didn't break my finger, I broke my nail. I ripped it partially off. It was gruesome. Grimdark. That's grimdark right there. Pinky wound. So the Flechette Launcher, 18-inch range pistol, which is insane, by the way. Strength 3, AP nothing, and damage 1. Nothing else. It's just 5 free shots if you choose to get locked in combat and shoot with it. So, I don't know if you're somehow locked with a contorted epitome, that might be good, because I think she is jump infantry. Let's see. Yeah, she has fly, so she could just move right out of combat for the most part. Although only having an 8-inch movement means that you could actually surround Shadowsun and make it so that she can't get out of close combat. So that's interesting. High Energy Fusion Blaster. Salt 1, Strength 8, AP -4, D6. Same thing, it's a fusion blaster, so at 2d6 discard the lowest if you're within half range, like any other Melta weapon. When resolving an attack made with this weapon against a unit that is within half range, roll 1 additional d6 when inflicting damage with it, and discard 1 of the dice. Oh, it's slightly different than Melta. Melta, you have to keep the highest. This one says you get to choose. So again, you can keep something alive, and I think she's equipped with 2 of these. Yes, she is. So she can either use it on Dispersed or High Energy. So she can either take 2 or 4 shots. Personally, I would take the 4 shots at Strength 7. I don't know why you would take the Strength 8 shot. Unless you, like, desperately needed to wound a Knight or a Land Raider. Everything else will be... The Strength 4 will be fine for. I do apologize if you guys can hear the dogs downstairs. They have not shut up at all. Light Missile Pod, Assault 2, Strength 7, AP -1, D3 damage, just flat. That's really good. And the Pulse Pistol, which we've already went over. War Gear options. For each high... Oh, she can switch them out. Personally, I would take the other one. The Strength 7 one, because you get more shots. And more shots is better. Why would you not take the more shots? I'm interested to see people's reason for taking the high energy one. I guess it'll wound certain things easier. It might be good against Space Marines because they can go... No, because then they'll just pop superhuman physiology and it doesn't matter. Yeah, like, just go with the multiple shots. For the greater good, Master of War, see Codex Tau Empire. Unfortunately, I don't know what those are, so let me check. So it turns out Tau Empire is actually one of the few codexes I don't own. I really thought I did. I probably could just bring up Battlescribed and figure it out, but whatever. Defender of the Greater Good. When this model would lose a wound as a result of an attack while this model is within 3 inches of a friendly XV-25 stealth battlesuit, not the XV-15s, but only the XV-25s. Older fans will get that. The unit can attempt to intercept those attacks. Roll a 1d6 on a 2+. That model does not lose. This model does not lose a wound. Instead, the other guys take a mortal wound. I wonder if you could then pass that on to a drone. Huh. So the entire unit has this ability. So can you pass the wound onto a drone and then have the drone pass the wound? No, because I think drones drop out as a different unit. Huh. So I wonder if you can throw it to the XV-25s and then have the XV-25s throw that mortal wound to a drone. I don't think you can. I want to say I don't think you can. Okay, Supreme Commander. This model can be included in a Tau Empire detachment without preventing other units in that detachment from gaining a sept tenant. Gaining a sept. Note, however, this model does not benefit from any sept unless the sept selected for in the detachment is coordinated firing arcs. Holy cow. So she has Celestine's ability, except she has her own sept. Unlike Celestine, who should be Martyred Lady, but I can go into a giant rant about that. Technically, it would be overpowered because she'd be hitting on 1+. So she would always hit on 2s no matter what, unless your opponent gave you -2 to hit. When you set up this model in company drones and deployment, they can set up... Okay. Actually, no, I gotta read these because these are sometimes different from each other. During deployment, they can be set up anywhere on the battlefield that is more than 12 inches away from an enemy deployment zone and enemy model. So it's interesting that it's 12 inches away. I think they're starting to realize that 9 inches is a little bit too powerful, even though you only have a 43% chance of making a charge turn 1. And I'm talking about other armies doing that. What are they? The Raven Guard doing that with Insult Centurions. Having a unit of 6 just pop up and make that charge is still a little bit scary. Let's see. Genius of Crayons. I know that says Kalyon, but I first saw it as crayons. You Marine veterans are probably out there screaming at me right now, and now you're screaming at me even more because I said that you eat crayons. Anyway. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Once per battle, this model can declare... You know what? I'm just going to call it crayons. Even if crayons or Mordka has already been declared. Mordka and Kayon cannot both be declared in the same turn. Okay. Alright, I like it. I like it. She can just switch her protocols. That's really good. Command link drone. At the start of your shooting phase, if a friendly command link drone model is within 3 inches of this model, command link drone model is within 3 inches of this wait, isn't... Oh, it's her that they're talking about. Okay, that's very, very poorly worded. Of this model is selected... This model, select one friendly Tau Empire unit within 12 inches of this model. That unit, this model, until the end of Until the end of that phase, when resolving an attack made by a model in that Tau Empire unit, they get to reroll hit rolls of 1. So they get the Marker Light ability. Also do apologize. From my angle, the glare is right here. So yeah, sorry about that. Drone support. When this model is set up on the battlefield, its accompanying drone models are set up with it. In coherency with it. From that point onwards, the drone models are treated as a separate unit. Okay, good. So you can't just pass the wound from Shadow Sun to the drone, from the drone to the XV-25s. It's actually from Shadow Sun to the XV-25s, from the XV-25s maybe to a drone. Let's see. When resolving an attack made with a ranged weapon against this model or any accompanying drones, subtract 1 from the hit rolls. That's just pretty good. A -1 is always good, but there's a lot of things that are allowing you to reroll, which kind of effectively negates that. But it's still okay. XV-22 Stalker Battlesuit has a 5+ invulnerable save. Personally, I think she should have had a 4+. But she can pass wounds on to drones. Because she is a battlesuit. Yep, battlesuit. Okay, so Command Link Drone, yep, is treated as a completely different unit from them. So that's really, really, really good. This model has a 4+ invulnerable save. When a friendly Tau Empire model would lose a wound whilst within 3 inches of this model, on a roll a d6. On a 6+, that wound is not lost. Hey, that's just really good. Okay, so that is Commander Shadow Sun. I think she's really decent. I like her. So let's take a look at some of the SEPs that they have. Turbojets. I'm sorry, just what? Turbojet. It's turbo time. It's turbo-tastic. Sorry, whenever I see turbo, I always think it's funny. It's also, is it a Pixar movie or a Disney movie called Turbo? I don't know. Okay, so Sept is essentially the same thing as chapter or order or conviction or so on and so forth. So, one of the abilities, Sept, see Codex Tau Empire for... You can create a Septon by selecting 2 rules from the following list. Okay, so you can make your own Sept now. Turbojets. I'm sorry, I think I would include turbojets no matter what because it's hilarious. Add 1 to the advanced rule for models with the jetpack rule. Okay, no, I don't like that. Add 1 to the leadership characteristic. Kind of useless. Increase the range of the greater good ability by... to 9 inches. Hell yeah, I want that one. When resolving an attack made with a ranged weapon by a battlesuit model with this tenant, that model does not suffer the penalty for moving and firing its heavy weapons. That's also really good. I like both of these. When resolving an attack made with a high-yield missile pod, or seeker missile, or smart missile, why don't they just say weapon with missile in the name? System by a model with this tenant, improve the armor penetration characteristic of that weapon by 1 for the attack, i.e. AP 0 becomes AP -1. That's pretty good. Because there's a lot of missiles in this game, in this army. When resolving an attack made by a vehicle model with this tenant against a model with 1 or more marker light on it, you can reroll 1s. Okay. That's okay. I don't really like the Tau vehicles. I kind of like the Tau battlesuits and I guess I like their airplanes, but their airplanes are kind of garbage. Add 4 inches to the range characteristic of assault and grenade weapons. Models with this tenant are equipped with. This does not apply to prototype weapon systems. Ooh, that could be really, really good for plasma and fusion weapons. So if you run your battlesuits with fusion, like I do, or with plasma, like I do, or flamer. I have a lot of battlesuits, sorry. But adding an extra 4 inches is really good. It keeps, essentially it's keeping your opponent 4 inches out of range. I like this one. I'm actually thinking, like, so far I'm liking this system and this one for the 2 that I would choose. Okay. In the movement phase, a vehicle or monster model with this tenant does not move or move a distance less than half of its movement characteristics until the end of that turn. When resolving an attack made with a ranged weapon by that model, you may reroll ones. May reroll wound rolls of ones. Ooh. So, okay, so if you have a bunch of XV88s or the Yavara or any of the biggins in the back, you're gonna kind of want this because you're pretty much wounding on 2s no matter what, unless your opponent activates superhuman physiology. But rerolling those 1s is always good. Tactical drone models in this tenant have a move characteristic of 10 inches. I would not use that because you just advance the drones. They don't need additional movement. A battlesuit with this tenant can advance when it falls back. Okay, that could be useful. But you're essentially losing the battlesuit when it gets into melee. So I just kind of count them as dead. Or you just jump up. You always put them, if they're going to be in combat, if they're ever put into a position where they might be in combat, put them next to a ruin or something that they can just jump on top of. Burst cannon models in this tenant are equipped with, have an armor penetration characteristic of -1. You can do a burst commander. 4 burst cannons is fun. Ooh, actually that's really good for the hazard close support units. Like the experimental suits in Forge World. Those could be fun with that. But so far, I think I really like stabilization systems and the command net. I think these... No, not the command net. Yeah, this one. These 2 are probably the best, in my opinion. Unless there's more. Prototype weapon systems. Ooh, yo, I really like the Tao. I just have to say it. I really like Tao. I do wish they went more weeby and less MechWarrior. Because if they actually went down the weeb path, they would actually have battlesuits with close combat weapons. But because they're supposed to be MechWarrior and MechWarrior doesn't really do close combat, it kind of limits them. The Weeb army in 40k is actually the Eldar because, you know, they're literally following the way of Bushido. They're also just they're samurais. Their armor is samurai. They shoot shurikens. They have ninjas. I don't know why no one calls them the Weeb army. Anyway. Battlesuit models with airburst fragmentation projectors only. Ranged weapons with an armor penetration characteristic of -1 or -2 are treated as having an armor penetration characteristic of 0. So that can get around a lot of Space Marine shenanigans. So that's pretty good. Fusion Obliterator. XV95 Ghost Kill Battlesuit model only. This weapon system replaces the Fusion Collider I'm calling it the Fusion Collider because, oh my god, that's the first thing I thought of. And has the following profile. 24-inch, heavy 3, strength 9, AP -4, D6 damage. And it is a melta weapon. So it has the... When resolving an attack made with this weapon against a unit within half range, roll an additional D6 and discard 1 of the dice. So that's actually really good. I mean, if Tau have an ability that lets them just buy relics just non-stop, I would definitely do it. XV95 Ghost Kill Battlesuit only. Enemy units that are set up as reinforcements can't set up within 12 inches of this. I think this is really good. It's also telling you to buy an XV95 Ghost Kill because they're ridiculously expensive. and no one's really buying them, even though they're insanely good. TX-7 Hammerhead Gunship model equipped with a railgun only. This weapon system is replaced a railgun with the following profile. Okay. High capacity railgun. Ooh, you know what I would do for this? I'd put 2 railguns on it because that would be cool, and that's something from Forge World from way back in the day when they had the design your own tanks thing. I was really kind of hoping Tao would have that as a open play thing, a design your own tank, but they didn't get that. Solid Shot, Heavy 2, Strength 10, AP -4, D6. It's literally the one with 2 railguns on it. Submunition, Heavy 4, D3. And then when resolving attacks made with the Solid Shot profile, a wound characteristic of 6+ inflicts D3 mortal wounds on the target in addition to any other damage. Whew, that actually sounds really, really, really fun on like, oh, who's a, is it I think it's DJ Longstrike is the one that's the tank commander. So that'd be kind of interesting to toss that in there. Gatling Burst Cannon. Ooh, wait, does this replace all of them or just one? Commander XV8, Commander Crisis Battlesuit, Crisis Bodyguard, or Ghost Kill unit only. Not the regular. Huh. Oh well, it does say Commander, so I guess it does count the Ghost Kill. Not the Ghost Kill, the Cold Star. The weapon system replaces each burst cannon that model is equipped with and has the following profile. It replaces every burst cannon. Oh my god, yes. Does it actually replace the weapon system? Replace each burst cannon that model in that unit is equipped with and has the following profile. Okay, 18-inch Assault 4, Strength 5, AP 0, 1 damage. When resolving an attack made with this weapon, an unmodified hit roll of a 6 scores 1 additional hit. Yo, Burst Commanders, am I right? I think I need to break out my Burst Commander. Network Markalites. Pathfinder team only. Wow, it's interesting that it's not on the Fireblade. This weapon system replaces each Markalite that model in that unit are equipped with and has the following profile. 36-inch Assault 1. So it's just a longer range networked Markalite. So that's actually really good. Okay. KV-128 Storm Surge model only. When resolving an attack made with... When resolving an attack made with a destroyer missile by this model, if a scores a hit roll, do not roll to determine the number of mortal wounds suffered by the target. That unit suffers 3 mortal wounds. I still don't think the Storm Surge is worth taking. I like the Storm Surge. I think it's cool looking, but I still don't think it's worth taking, even with that and a points reduction. It's cool, but the smaller ones, the Riptides and the Yavaras, just outperform it in every single category. Accelerated Photon Grenade. Unit with Photon Grenades only. This weapon system replaces each Photon Grenade that models in that unit are equipped with and has the following profile. Grenade D6 abilities. This weapon can only target infantry units. When resolving an attack made with this weapon, if a hit is scored, do not make a wound roll. Instead, if the target is shocked until the end of your next turn. When resolving an attack made with melee weapons by a model from a shocked unit, subtract 1 from the hit roll. In addition, a shocked unit cannot advance and cannot charge, and the charge rolls are halved. Okay, that's pretty good, and it's 12 inches, which is really good. So you can actually throw a ton of grenades at a ton of different targets, and I think you can have a 10-man infiltrator squad. So you can actually line them in front of your army and then throw like one grenade at each unit that's about to close in on you. In fact, it's actually worth doing if you're firing Overwatch with them, is to just throw these grenades. Okay. Commander XVA Crisis Battlesuit XVA Crisis Bodyguard unit only. When resolving an attack made with a ranged weapon by a model in this unit, reroll hit rolls of 1 and reroll wound rolls of 1. Well, that's just really good. You take a big unit and you have reroll 1s to hit and wound. There's no negatives to that. XV-88 Broadside Battlesuit, my favorite battlesuit. Actually, not my favorite. Mine is the XV-33, I think it is. The Hazard Close Support units with the 4 burst cannons. Range 60, Heavy 2, Strength 9, AP -4, D6 damage. It replaces each heavy rail rifle in that model. So it gets 2 shots with this thing. So that's 4 Strength 9 shots. That's pretty cool. When resolving an attack made with this weapon, a wound roll of a 6+ inflicts 1 mortal wound on that target in addition to any other damage. When resolving an attack made with this weapon, a damage roll of a 1 or 2 counts as 3 instead. Okay, so its minimum damage is 3, which makes it really, really, really good. Okay. The Riptide Battlesuit. I didn't really think this thing needed anything, but okay. Weapon system replaces its ion accelerator and has the following profile. Amplified ion accelerator. Okay, so standard or overcharged, heavy 6 to heavy 6, strength 8 to strength 9. Its damage goes to 3 plus D3. That's pretty good. All right. It doesn't change. Why would you not overcharge it? For each hit roll of a 1 made for... for each hit roll of a 1 made for attacks with this weapon, overcharged profile suffers 1 mortal wound. I don't know if I would do that. Well, you're dealing 1 mortal wound to yourself by firing this weapon by statistics. Is that worth it? I don't know. I personally think it's okay, but not great. Does that make sense? I think that makes sense. Okay, the next one is a battlesuit model only. Hey, I guess it can go on the rest of the battlesuits. This weapon system replaces each flamer that model is equipped with. Has the following profile. High-powered incinerator. Range 8, assault D6. It just looks like a regular flamer. When resolving an attack made with this weapon, do not make a hit roll. It automatically scores a hit. When resolving an attack made with this weapon against a unit that is within half range, add 1 to the strength characteristics of this weapon. Okay, so it auto hits, so it's just D6 hits. Okay, but what's good about it? It replaces each flamer, and the max amount of flamers you can get on a battlesuit is 3. 4 if you do a flamer commander, which is hilarious. You better paint him in rainbow colors. But is that good? I honestly think that one's just bad. Like, I can't think of anything good with that. So, next up we have the Tao Stratagems. We have a whole bunch of them. Oh my gods. Okay. And then we still have the 8 to get through. And the 8 look fantastic, by the way. I'm actually surprised that they brought a bunch of the 8 back. I'm wondering if they're AI. Okay, Sworn Bodyguard. I wish the dogs downstairs would stop barking. They have not stopped barking since I started this video. Use a stratagem in the fight phase. When a Sept XV-8 Crisis Bodyguard unit from your army is chosen to fight, by the way. Until the end of that phase, when resolving an attack made with a melee weapon by a model in that unit, a friendly Sept character unit within 3 inches of that model, You can reroll the hit and you can reroll the wound roll. Okay, so for 1 command point, you can possibly keep your battlesuits alive in close combat. I think battlesuits are hitting on 3 to 4 plus, so it's actually not terrible, it's just not great. Okay, so the next one we have is use this stratagem in your shooting phase. Select 1 enemy unit. Until the end of that phase, when resolving an attack made with a ranged weapon by a model from your army against that unit, treat that unit as having one more marker light counter than it actually has for this attack. That's kind of really good because you're really wanting to farm those marker lights to try to get those rerolls and denying of cover. Do they still deny cover? Holy crap, I'm so out of touch with Tao. I haven't played them once this edition. This edition has been out for 3 years. 2 years. I forget what marker lights do. I really need to grab my codex. Use the stratagem in your shooting phase when a sniper drone unit from your army is chosen to shoot with. Until the end of that phase, the armor penetration characteristic of the long shot plasma rifle model that unit is equipped with is improved by 1. In addition, until the end of that phase, when resolving an attack made with a long shot plasma rifle model by a model that the unit against a unit... Oh wait, what? Resolving an attack made with a long shot plasma rifle by a model in that unit against a unit that is within half range, the armor penetration characteristic is improved by a further 1 for that attack. So that means you get an AP of -2 if your sniper drones are close. I really like sniper drones. I actually want quite a few of them. I'm going to build up some recruit with sniper rifles to be my headhunter kindred. Those of you who are longtime Tao fans will actually know what headhunter kindred are. And they're going to be my Tao sniper drones because I want to incorporate Crute more into my army. Like all of my shield drones are just going to be Crute with shields. Wisdom of the Many. Ugh, okay. Use the stratagem in your movement phase. Select 1 ethereal unit from your army. Until the end of that phase, that unit can invoke 1 additional element power using its invocations of the element ability, so long as that element power has not already been invoked by that unit in that phase. So I do like that ethereals are essentially your chaplains and things of that nature. They're your leaders, your spiritual leaders. Yeah. At least they don't sing like the chaplains do. That's just ridiculous. Like, that's something I expect from the Sisterhood, not the freaking Space Marines. Use the stratagem in your shooting phase when a breacher team unit from your army is chosen to shoot with. Until the end of that phase, the range characteristics of the close range and medium range profiles of the pulse blaster models that unit are equipped with is increased to 15 inches. Okay, that could be really useful because those little breacher weapons are actually pretty decent. So if you are taking breacher teams, which I think most lists take 3, I think most lists are taking 3 breacher teams. It's either that or 3 fire warrior teams. I can't remember which. Use the stratagem in the shooting phase when a sept unit other than a Titanic model from your army is chosen to shoot with. Until the end of that phase, do not roll to determine the type characteristic of the heavy weapons that models are equipped with. They have their maximum value, e.g. a D6 weapon makes 6 shots. That is terrifying. Like, that's honestly terrifying. Oh my god, that's... Ooh, that's just really good. Okay, Rain of Fire. Use the stratagem in your shooting phase when a Vespid Stingwing unit from your army... I'm going to stop reading that because nobody, literally nobody knows what they are. Okay, coordinated engagement. Aw, they got together and got married. That's just sweet. Use the stratagem in your shooting phase. Select one XV8 Crisis Battlesuit or XV8 Crisis Bodyguard unit from your army is selected. Your army and select one enemy unit. Until the end of that phase, when resolving attacks made by a model with the XV8 Crisis Battlesuit or Bodyguard unit against that enemy, treat the enemy as having 5 marker... Oh, wow, damn. You get all the abilities of the marker lights then. This actually, these are really good. Like, these are insanely good because this means you can put your marker lights in a different location. So you can actually maximize the amount of target priority that you need to get by having your XV8s just hunt one thing down and then putting your marker lights on more tougher targets, if that makes sense. So this way you can actually take out like multiple units per turn that are high value targets. Like you need to crush a Centurion squad, you need to deal with an Aggressor squad, you need to deal with 15 Battle Sisters that have a 4+ invulnerable save walking through your entire army and you didn't stop them and they accidentally tabled you, oopsie daisy, and then they got tabled at LVO and LVO doesn't want to talk about it. But actually GW doesn't want to talk about it. Ambush Predators. Ooh, is this one for Kroot? I hope this one's for... Oh, it is for Kroot! Use the stratagem in your opponent's charge phase. Select one Kroot unit from your army. Until the end of that phase, that unit can perform a heroic intervention as if it were a character. In addition, if that unit performs an intervention, it is in the phase. It can do so if there is an enemy unit within 6 inches instead of 3 inches. When doing so, it can move up into 6 instead of 3. Holy crap. Okay, so your army is now going to have layers. So you're going to have your warriors in front, just throwing grenades at everything. And then if your opponent barely makes it into them after tanking all of the Overwatch from your entire army, because everything within 9 inches of that unit that has 25 mil bases that you carefully measured out to be just under 2 inches apart, so they're touching literally everything in your army, now you can have your Kroot, which are behind them, just stop them in their tracks. Oh, that is so good. That is so good. And if you're smart about it, you can actually perform so heroic intervention is at the end of all the charges. So what you do then is, since you're going to be declared anyway, because Tao, you just pick out the targets that you want to wrap, like high value shooting targets, wrap them and then disengage them on your turn. So you can actually, like, say there's an assault cannoness that you want to take out. I'm trying to reach over here to grab an assault cannoness. Here we go. Boop. Everybody just keeps a cannoness nearby, right? Just like they keep the patriarchy nearby and a repressor, because everything's better with a repressor, or, you know, 3. Everything's better with repressors. Anyway, but say that you have to deal with this lady and you don't want her shooting at you next turn. You just take your Kroot, which are on 25 mil bases, and you just base her in spots where she can't get around. And thus, you lock her in place. I think it takes 4 to lock her. Yeah, it takes 4 to lock her. So you just take a bunch of Kroot to wrap around very strong shooting characters that have charged, which, you know, they just charge you because, you know, you're Tao and you're weak in close combat. And now your Kroot moves 6 inches, tag them, and then during your turn you just wrap around them. So I actually really like that if you have Kroot in your list. So the next one is Seasoned Snipers. It's sniping season. Use a stratagem in your shooting phase. Select one Firesight Marksman model from your army. Until the end of that phase, ranged weapons that model is equipped with can target a character even if it is not the closest enemy. Firesight Marksman. Isn't that just the dude with the globe over his head? I might be wrong on that. I don't know. Another Kroot one. This must be amazing. Use the stratagem at the start of your opponent's shooting phase. Select one Kroot unit from your army until the end of that phase. When resolving an attack made with a ranged weapon against the unit whilst is receiving benefits of cover, subtract 1 from the hit roll and add 1 to their saving throw. So your Kroot can actually get +3 to their cover, because I think Kroot naturally get a +1. So it's +1 from the cover, +1 from being a Kroot, +1 from being, from this. You can have a +3, so your 6+ goes to a 3+. Damn, Kroot can be survivable. And then if you get charged, you just use this and launch yourselves at them. Oh my god, there's more for Kroot. Yes, this should all be just Kroot. Like, that would be the greatest. I am Kroot. Use this stratagem before the battle. Select one Kroot shape or model from your army until the end of the battle. When making an advance roll or a charge roll for friendly Kroot units that are within 6 inches of that model, roll an additional d6 and discard one of the dice. Yo, I love it. I'd give him wings to represent that. He can't fly, but it's still cool. Racing Beast. Oh, it's Kroodox! Kroodox Riders! They're actually getting something. They remembered them. Use the stratagem when a Kroodox Rider unit from your army is chosen to fight with in the fight phase. Until the end of that phase, models in that unit have an attack characteristic of 4. In addition, until the end of that phase, the armor penetration characteristic of the Kroodox Fist models in that unit are equipped with are improved by 2. So it goes to AP -2, so I think it's Strength 5, AP -2, which is actually pretty devastating. Kroot might be your answer to close combat. Point Blank Volley. Use the stratagem at the start of your shooting phase. Select one Sept unit from your army. Until the end of that phase, Pulse Blasters, Pulse Carbines, and Pulse Rifles models in that unit are equipped with have the type characteristic of Pistol 2. So if you're locked in close combat, you use this ability and shoot your way out. Until the end of that phase, models in that unit cannot be affected by volley fire ability. So you can't get the double, triple, quadruple shots, but still you can fire your way out of combat. Promising Pupil. Aw, that's adorable. Use the stratagem before the battle. After nominating your Warlord, select one Sept character from your army that does not have a Warlord trait, and determine one Warlord trait for it. Okay, so it just gets a Warlord trait. That's really cool. Oh, and each one must be unique. Okay, so now we have the 8, which I'm super excited about. Because the 8 are cool, but I like it. I actually am one of the few people that like the Tau better than the Farsight Enclave. So we get a bit of lore for the 8 themselves. Also, I've always wondered how they fired those shoulder-mounted guns. And the fact they have to lean down to shoot them is a little bit stupid to me. So I'm a little bit annoyed by that. Commander Farsight. The regenerated Firecast Commander Shasso Volor Shav whatever. Ooh. And is better known as Commander Farsight. Over his unnaturally long lifespan, Farsight has been known by many other names as well. For his most exciting... Yeah, it doesn't really say anything new about him, just the same old. So let's see, we got 2 fusion, plasma and shield and flamer. Interesting combo. Double flamethrower, that one's my favorite now. An XV8 with just missiles and a Riptide and this dude. Oh, it's a Chateau. Nice. Okay, holy crap, that is a lot of stuff to go over. Okay, so we have all the updated rules for all of their weapons. Nito Mosquito, my funky burrito. They have all the new support systems and everything with all the new rules for them that have been coming out in the new FAQs. We have the points value, not the points value. Wow, it's just 1 unit. It's 8 characters and 14 drones for 1,120 points. Wow, it is 1 unit. Wow. I was not expecting it to just be 1 unit, but it is 1 unit. Well, technically 2 if you count the 14 drones. Holy cow, you can keep that thing alive if you have a ton of other drones. Like 3 drone squads next to it. Damn, they're not going down. Okay, so let's see. Match play rules. Restrict the number of commander units allowed in each detachment to 1. Does not apply to the 8. Okay. Oh, and the 8 is just a detachment. Interesting. If you include the 8 in your army... Oh, no, the 8 is not a detachment. And a detachment does not apply to the 8 themselves. Commander Farsight, if you include the 8 in your army, then you cannot also include the Commander Farsight detached. Then you cannot also include Commander Farsight data sheet. Okay, so they don't work together. If you include the 8 in your army, Commander Farsight must be... the army's... Wait, what? If you include the 8 in your army, you cannot also include Farsight. Oh, I guess Farsight actually counts as one of the 8. That makes sense. That makes sense. Okay. Yeah, then he must be the Warlord. Alright. Heroes of the Enclave. This Warlord can perform a heroic intervention if there are... so they get the 6-inch one instead of the 3-inch heroic intervention and can move up to 6 inches instead of 3. If this Warlord makes a charge move, is charged, or performs heroic intervention until the end of that turn, when resolving an attack made by your Warlord, you can re-roll the hit rolls. The hit roll. Okay, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Point value, 1,120. Holy crap. Abilities, Masters of War, Kion, Munkai, Sept Talent. Holy crap, there's so many things to actually go over here. Okay, Kion, or Crayon. In a turn which Farsight Enclave commander unit from your army declares Kion at the start of your movement phase, you can select any friendly Farsight Enclave unit within 6 inches of that unit. Within 6 inches of that unit until the end of the turn. The selected unit cannot move for any reason, but when resolving an attack made by a model in any of those units, you can reroll the hit rolls, or a hit roll. Okay, so you pick a unit, it stands still, and can reroll to hit. That also includes like anything. It's just reroll to hit. Muntka. In a turn in which Farsight Enclave commander unit from your army declares Muntka, at the start of your movement phase, you can select any friendly Farsight Enclave unit within 6 inches of that unit. Until the end of that turn, the selected unit can shoot as though it did not move that turn. Unless stated otherwise, you can only use the Master of War ability once per battle, irrespectively of how many models in your army have the ability. Okay, so that's pretty interesting. So I think these are both just additional rules to Kion and Munka. Let's see. Huh, no, it's just those two. Okay. Subtalents. If your army is battle-forged, all models in the 8 detachment gain the following talent. Devastating Counterstrike. When resolving an attack made with ranged weapons by models with this talent against a unit within 6 inches, you can reroll a wound roll of 1. Okay, so that's pretty good. That's not great, but that's pretty good. Like, if they're danger close to you, you can just wipe them off the freaking map. When a character from the 8 is set up on the battlefield, any accompanying drones models are set along with them within coherency and then are treated as a different... Yeah. treated with the HQ battlefield role and are considered to have a power rating of 0. Okay. And then they have savior protocols. So that's pretty cool. And then we have all of their weapon systems and everything. Oh my god, I am not going over all of this. Holy crap. Alright, so there's the 8. Study these pages wisely. That is a lot of abilities. Holy crap, that is so many abilities. Man, each one of these is just a unique character. So you have 8 unique characters on here, which is pretty nifty. Most of them have a 3+ ballistic skill, or no, a 2+ ballistic skill, but a 3+ weapon skill. Farsight having a 2+. Farsight also has strength and toughness of 5 with 6 wounds, 4 attacks, 9 leadership, and 3+ save. The only one that's different is Ovisa, who has a debilitating profile. Actually has 4 attacks, which is pretty decent. They actually all have 4 attacks aside from one battlesuit, which has 3 attacks. And they all have a weapon skill of 2 to 3+, which is insane. Except for the one that has a 5+, and the Ovisa, who has a 6+. And the drones I'm not counting. Holy crap, you can only contain one of these dudes. It tells you what they're equipped with. It tells you the exact way to build them. And they are all unique for the greater good. When a unit declares a charge against a unit from your army whilst they are within 6... It's an army within 6 inches of a unit can fire Overwatch. If it does, it cannot fire Overwatch again this turn. So you just blow something completely off the map with that. Accompanying drones, it tells you what to do with them. Manta drop, they deep strike. A good chunk of them can deep strike. Except Ovisa. Yeah, all of them except for Ovisa can deep strike. Master of War, Genius of Munka. Once per battle, this model can declare Munka even if Kion or Munka has already been declared. Munka and Kion cannot both be declared in the same turn. Okay. Way of the Short Blade. Reroll hit rolls of 1 for attacks made with melee weapons by models in a friendly Farside Enclave unit while staying within 6 inches of this model. Reroll hit rolls of 1 for attacks made with ranged weapons by models in friendly Farside Enclave units against orcs, because he freaking hates orcs. I love that he hates orcs. And then each one of them has their own unique rules here. I'm not going to go over each and every single one of them. If you want, pause the video right here and just, yeah. Okay, so let's move on from this into Farside Enclave's personal, well, I guess he has these ones. So, match play rules for Dude Guy McScruff Face. Actually, Dude Guy McSwordbrow. The only Tao smart enough to pick up a damn sword. Actually, that's not true. Tao can fight in close combat and can fight comparable to a human. In fact, fighting a battlesuit in close combat would be terrifying. Be the equivalent of fighting a marine. Except bigger. Okay, so let's see what happens. All Farside Enclave units in the Tau Codex gain the Aggressive Foothold ability. When resolving an attack made with a ranged weapon by a model in this unit against an enemy unit within 12 inches, that enemy unit is... Treat that enemy unit as having one more marker light than it actually has. So it actually treats all units as though they have 1 marker light on them regardless. Let's see. Against an enemy unit within 12 inches. So you have to be really close to your enemy, but still, that's pretty decent. So 1 to 2 CP, use the stratagem before the battle. Select 1 XV8 battlesuit or XV Crisis battlesuit unit from your army that contains 3 models and 1 command point or the one crisis suit or XV8 bodyguard unit from your army that contains 4 or more for 2 command points. Okay, so if it has 4 more battle suits, 2 command points. If it's 3 or below, it's 1 command point. Models in that unit have a weapon skill characteristic of 4+ and a ballistic skill characteristic of 3+. You can only use this stratagem once per battle, so you actually become better at close combat and really good at shooting. So that's actually ridiculously good, especially if you're within 12 inches, so you're already re-rolling 1s on top of all of that. So that means you're hitting, what, 2/5 of the time? So that's ridiculous. That's actually really, 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 really good. Furious Assault uses stratagem in your charge phase when a jetpack unit from your army finishes a charge move. For each model in that unit, you can select one enemy unit within 1 inch and roll a d6. On a 3+, they suffer a mortal wound. So if you actually combine these two and hit with that 6 units, those 6 models, there is a chance that you can actually get like 3 or 4 mortal wounds on your opponent. So that's pretty decent. Danger close. Yes, the term that I always use. Use this stratagem in your shooting phase. When a breacher team or strike team from your army is chosen to shoot with, oh, this is the one, oh, it's 12 inches. This one's different. Until the end of that phase, when resolving an attack made with a ranged weapon by a model in that unit and against an enemy unit within 12 inches, you can re-roll the wound rolls. So even your troops become really good at close sweeping. It doesn't look like you want to use Crute, though, which is kind of a shame. I really like using Crute. Defense in numbers. Use this stratagem in the fight phase of your opponent's shooting. In the fight phase or your opponent's shooting phase. When an XV8 crisis battlesuit or crisis bodyguard unit from your army is chosen as the target for an attack. Until the end of that phase, when a model in that unit would lose a wound, roll a d6. On a 5+, that wound is not lost. So 2 CP for a 5+ feel no pain, which is really good. Ooh, especially if you, oh my god. Yes, the synergy. Oh, I'm just saying that one unit is going to be a melee sweeper. Wait. No, because the 8 are actually a unit. They are completely different than anything else. Focused Fury. Use this stratagem in your shooting phase. When a character model from your army is chosen to shoot with, until the end of that phase, you can when resolving an attack made by this model, you can re-roll the wound rolls. So if you have a burst commander or a fusion commander, that's pretty decent. And then we have Firestorm. Use this stratagem at the end of your movement phase. Select up to 3 Tau Empire units with a flyer battlefield roll. Okay, no, this actually... Ooh, no, flyer battlefield roll. That's the airplanes. This is garbage. The airplanes are terrible. Oh, wait, no, you can use this with the bigger airplanes. You can use this with 3 mantas. This stratagem costs 1 additional command point for each selected unit. Roll a 1d6 for each enemy unit within 3 inches of those selected units. On a 4+, that enemy unit suffers d3 mortal wounds. So if you have a barracuda or a tiger shark, this is actually pretty good because of their profile being so big. Actually, I think you measure that ability by their base and not by their model. So that's kind of interesting. But I would not use it on like the Sun Shark Bomber or things like that because those kind of suck. And then we have the Warlord Traits over here. Ooh. An artifact, world of blah blah blah, was little more than a devastated wasteland when Farsight expedition arrived, yet when the Tau recovered a number of strange relics there. Amongst them was the I can't say that word. My accent will not let me. Talisman Farsight has seen firsthand that the arcane object protects its wearers from those around it, from the baleful energies, though neither he nor his advisors have the faintest idea how it does so. So yeah, he has a hexagramical ward, which I think is really cool. I actually like that he has that, because that's a thing from Dark Heresy. Let's see. Once per battle, at the start of your opponent's turn, you can choose to activate this relic. If you do, until the end of that turn, when a model starts or ends its move within 6 inches of a model with this relic, roll a d6. On a 1, that model suffers 1 mortal wound. That's okay. Let me get the first one. When resolving an attack made by a model with this relic against a unit within 18 inches, you can reroll a hit. You can reroll the hit rolls. Ooh, that's just really good. Okay, especially if you put that on a fusion commander. Alrighty, let's see. Warlord Traits. We have 3 of them. So not too many, actually. When a morale test is, I don't care. Like, it's a morale test. When a morale test is taken for a friendly Farsight Enclave unit with the Bonding Knife ritual ability, whilst it's within 12 inches of this warlord, it is automatically passed on a roll of a 4+ instead of a 6. Okay, neato. Commander models only. When this warlord declares Munka, it affects friendly Farsight Enclave units within 12 inches instead of 6. Ooh, that's really good. And then the last one, when resolving an attack made by your warlord against a character unit, you can reroll the hit rolls. I actually like number 2 the best. I think it is easily the best. And then we just have some different objectives. And I think in the next video, we will continue with the Astra Militarum, but that was the Tau. And I gotta say, the Tau are looking pretty powerful, especially now that they have answers to close combat. So, if you want to see more from this book, hit that like button. It actually helps out the channel. It makes it so YouTube actually shows this video to other people. If you enjoyed this video, please comment in the comment section down below. Tell me what you think of everything. Tell me what you think is busted, what you think is good, what you think is a little bit too good but not busted yet. Tell me your thoughts, ask some questions. Also, while you're down there, check out the links in the description down below. There you can follow me on all sorts of social media. You can follow me on Instagram, Twitch, Twitter, Facebook. You can even follow me on Patreon. Patreon goes a long way to helping out the channel. It really supports the channel. It keeps this stuff going. And to be honest, it's what I'm making my living off of. So if you guys want to spare $1 to help out a YouTuber, toss a coin at your YouTuber, please. Anyway, guys, as always, I'm NornQueenAlexis. I love you guys. Bye. Hey everyone, do you want a cool shirt? Be sure to check out my Teespring. Link is in the description down below.